With an expected price tag of nearly $56 million, the three-day celebration is one of the most expensive weddings ever. More than 30 water taxis were reserved for guests, and 5 of the city's most luxurious hotels.
Jeff Bezos didn't just get married. He shut down an entire island in Venice and dropped over $50 million doing it. But instead of awe, what followed was a tidal wave of secondhand embarrassment. Private jets, red carpets, and enough security to make a world leader jealous, all for a wedding that looked more like a corporate press event than a romantic celebration. People weren't swooning, they were cringing. The setting was peak excess. Flown-in guests, designer gowns, orchestras, and media buzz that felt suspiciously too well-timed. This wasn't a wedding, it was a flex. A massive, awkward flex that screamed, "Please, take us seriously as icons." And the weirdest part? Despite all that money, the vibe was off. The decor? More Amazon headquarters than Amalfi Coast. The mood? More performance than passion. It had all the makings of a Hollywood blockbuster, minus the chemistry. But it wasn't just the money or the setting that had people talking. From the moment Lauren Sanchez stepped off the boat, it was clear this wedding wasn't just about love. It was about legacy. Or more specifically, image. Her image. In the weeks leading up to the wedding, something strange happened. Lauren quietly wiped her Instagram clean, deleting every post except 2 new ones, like she was hitting reset, rebranding. And when the wedding finally happened, it all made sense. This wasn't just a ceremony, it was a debut. A carefully curated rollout of Lauren 2.0. But here's the catch, people didn't buy it. Online, she was instantly compared to the Kardashians, not in a flattering way. The surgically smooth face, the ultra-tight designer dress, the Vogue cover, it screamed reality TV fame chaser, not billionaire bride. And speaking of Vogue, rumor has it, longtime editor Anna Wintour stepped down right before the cover dropped, sparking whispers that even she couldn't co-sign the Bezos Sanchez spectacle. Like this whole thing crossed some kind of taste line, even for the fashion world. It's like Lauren wanted to go from tabloid curiosity to certified celebrity overnight. But instead of admiration, she got eye rolls. And as she leaned into the spotlight, others were doing everything they could to stay out of it. Not everyone at this wedding wanted to be seen. In fact, some of the biggest names showed up acting like they'd accidentally walked into the wrong event. Case in point, Leonardo DiCaprio. A man who spent years preaching about climate change and saving the planet, showed up by private boat to a billionaire wedding attended by 90 private jets. You can't make this shit up. Leo practically dove for cover. He yanked his baseball cap down like it was a cloak of invisibility, as if nobody would recognize Leonardo freaking DiCaprio sitting on a boat with Jeff Bezos and a bunch of ultra-wealthy elites. It's the kind of performative contradiction that makes you wonder, is he really about the cause or just the clout? Then there's Oprah, the queen of class, who weirdly blended in so much it felt like she was trying not to be noticed at all. Same with Usher, Tom Brady, even Sydney Sweeney, who looked more like she was crashing a prom than attending a billionaire wedding. And it's not just their presence that raised eyebrows. It's the mix. These people don't run in the same circles. They barely run in the same decade. So why were they all there? Online theories exploded. Reddit threads filled with speculation. Were they paid to show up? Flown in on Bezos' dime? Doing a favor? Or worse, were they part of a PR stunt designed to make Lauren Sanchez look like Hollywood royalty? Because if this was supposed to be a real celebration, it sure didn't feel like one. And nothing made that clearer than the red carpet moments no one asked for. If this wedding was Lauren's big moment, the dress was supposed to be the centerpiece. But instead of blowing people away, it left most of the internet squinting in confusion. The vibe? Less Italian summer goddess, more winter gala at a tech CEO's retirement party. The gown was heavy, corseted, and honestly kind of aging, especially for someone clearly trying to scream youth and glamour. And that wasn't even the worst part. People couldn't stop talking about the weirdly familiar gray carpet lining the aisle. Why? Because it looked exactly like the one from the Amazon headquarters. Corporate carpet at your $50 million wedding. Let that sink in. But Lauren wasn't the only one catching heat. Kim Kardashian showed up stone-faced, wearing yet another skin-tight, sleepwalking through the motions dress. Khloe looked like she was literally melting inside a pink puffball that screamed overheating in style. And Kylie's dress? People thought it was torn, like actually ripped down the middle. Some said it was edgy, others said it was inappropriate, and a few weren't even sure she knew there was a wedding going on. Then there was Sydney Sweeney. Adorable, yes, but dressed like she took a wrong turn into prom. Orlando Bloom came solo. Usher showed up in Skims-toned beige, and Tom Brady wore so much black he looked like a villain in a rebooted Scooby-Doo. And the background of every photo? Random rich people standing awkwardly behind Lauren and Jeff, looking like staff waiting to be dismissed. It's like no one knew what to do, who to talk to, or why they were even there. This wasn't a glamorous event. It was a perfectly lit identity crisis in Dolce & Gabbana. But beneath the awkward fashion and strange guest list, one theory started to take over the conversation, and it changes everything. At a glance, this looked like just another over-the-top celebrity wedding. But the more people looked at it, the more something felt off. Like this wasn't a celebration at all. It was a campaign launch. Reddit lit up with theories. One user asked point blank, "Did Jeff Bezos pay people to come to this wedding?" Another guessed probably didn't get cash but had their jets and luxury hotels comped. Either way, the vibe was clear. This wasn't about who loved them, it was about who looked good standing next to them. Think about it. These weren't best friends, they were famous faces. Oprah, Tom Brady, the Kardashians, Sydney Sweeney. People who don't even hang out in the same solar system, all crammed into one island, smiling like they were at the Met Gala, minus the fun. It was too curated, too weird, too fake. And then there's the timing. Lauren Sanchez scored the cover of Vogue in her wedding dress, alone, like she was the star of a royal wedding that no one actually cared about. And if you believe the rumors, longtime Vogue editor Anna Wintour may have stepped down in silent protest, allegedly refusing to co-sign this PR fairy tale. Even the ring became part of the spectacle. After online criticism that her engagement diamond was small by billionaire standards, Lauren suddenly showed up with a massive upgrade. A wedding ring so big it could block out the sun. Coincidence? Or another carefully planted, look at me now moment? It's like every detail of this wedding, the guest list, the Vogue spread, the dress, the ring, was built to broadcast one message. We're not just rich, we're iconic. But the internet wasn't buying it. In fact, they were just getting started. While Bezos and Sanchez were popping champagne in Venice, the internet was sharpening its knives. The backlash wasn't just about the wedding, it was about what it represented. The insane wealth, the tone-deaf spectacle, the look at us energy in a world where most people are barely getting by. It wasn't just a bad look, it was insulting. One commenter summed it up perfectly. Kids can't get free school lunches, but these people flew in on 90 private jets to watch Lauren Sanchez play dress-up in Amazon carpet, and they weren't exaggerating. Flight trackers confirmed nearly 100 private planes landed for this wedding. One jet, allegedly Kim Kardashian's, cost over $33,000 for an 11-hour round trip. And for what? To smile awkwardly on a carpet that looked like it was ripped from a warehouse break room? Another viral comment put it bluntly, "The amount of people that could have been helped with the money spent on this wedding makes me feel sick." And it's not just about the money. It's about the message that while the rest of the world is debating healthcare, housing, and how to survive the next economic crisis, Jeff Bezos is trying to turn his wedding into a red carpet franchise. And Lauren? She's out here making her own entrance into the fame economy, like a one-woman media startup, powered by diamonds, Vogue, and a very public midlife makeover. It's rich versus real, and the audience is choosing sides. And if Bezos and Sanchez thought this was their moment to win hearts, they may have completely misread the room. When you step back and look at the whole thing, the Vogue cover, the rebranded Instagram, the surgically smoothed glam, the celebrities who looked more confused than excited, it starts to feel like this wedding wasn't about love at all. It was about positioning. Some say Lauren Sanchez wants to be the next Kardashian, but bigger, richer, shinier. Others believe Bezos is trying to do what every billionaire eventually attempts: buy cultural relevance. The money is there, the media power is growing, and now they want the crown. Not the political one, the pop culture one. Think about it. The wedding didn't feel intimate, it felt orchestrated. The carpet, the lighting, the timing of the press releases, even the backlash was probably calculated to stir controversy. In a media economy where attention is currency, even hate clicks count. So here's the theory. This wedding was phase one, a soft launch for America's newest it couple. A fusion of tech money and reality TV ambition. A bold, glitter-covered attempt to turn a corporate king and a news anchor-turned socialite into America's royalty 2.0. But here's the catch. You can't fake authenticity. And for all the wealth, PR power, and designer gowns, what people saw was a couple trying a little too hard to become something they're not. Which leaves just one final question. Was this a wedding, or the pilot episode of a PR fantasy no one asked to watch? Jeff Bezos spent $50 million trying to look like the man who has it all. Lauren Sanchez tried to step into the spotlight like she was born to be there. But in the end, no amount of money, guest lists, or Vogue covers can buy what they were really chasing: credibility. This wasn't a wedding, it was a performance. A luxury-fueled illusion meant to convince the world that these two weren't just rich, they were relevant. That they weren't just powerful, they were liked. But here's the truth. You can't force fame. You can't manufacture cool. And the moment you try, especially in front of the entire internet, you expose exactly how insecure you really are. Lauren Sanchez may have gotten her ring, her magazine cover, and her moment in the sun. But if this was the start of a new era, the audience is already over it. Because what this wedding really revealed wasn't a love story. It was a billionaire identity crisis, disguised as a fairy tale. So what do you think? Was this a misguided attempt at rebranding, a tone-deaf flex, or just the beginning of something even more unhinged? Let me know in the comments. And if you haven't seen the first time they tried to win the public over, you'll want to check out that video next. It'll change the way you see all of this.